welcome to my channel. Okay, so I was trying to find some parts in the discovery to do a read through, and I was thinking about doing these texts that between like Chris and Shannon's phone, and some of them are actually, between Shannon and her friends. So I was going through them and I found something very interesting, but I'll let you know when I get to the part. But it got me thinking, like, something just doesn't seem right. And I'm going to start on August 8th, okay? But if you want to read the whole, I think it starts from, let me see where it starts from. Hold on one second. So it starts May 29th. You could see all the text. It has NK's phone, Shannon's phone, and Chris's phone. It has like all the text data. So if you want to check it out, it starts on the Discovery page 2082. But I'm going to start on August 8th because I had read most of these on a video already, actually. So we're going to start on August 8th, 2018. Watts returned to work because remember they got home from North Carolina on the 7th, and then he returns to work on the 8th. Okay. So at 7:24 a.m., Sarah Nudd, a friend of Shannon's, asked Shannon if they were doing any better. Shannon replied, "No, it's so bad and I don't know what to do. He told me he doesn't want this baby and he's happy with just Bella and Celeste. He thought he wanted another one. I'm so sick to my stomach. Tried to have sex with him last night just to see if that would help him, and he rejected me." Shannon said she hasn't cried this hard ever. Shannon added, "He said he feels there's a lack of communication and it's not from me. I sent him 12 texts over the month begging him to talk to me. He fell asleep at 8 p.m., Shannon told Sarah. I tried talking to him after rejection last night and me crying for an hour alone on the couch. He slept. I kicked his sorry butt out of bed and I refused to sleep on the couch anymore this week. Told him this morning to not come home today if he can't tell me the damn truth on what the hell's wrong." Shannon continued, "We're supposed to go to ultrasound tonight and he doesn't want the baby. He'd abort if I said it was okay." Okay, so at 8:06 a.m., Shannon told Sarah, "He said he's not having an affair." Sarah asked if Shannon is certain of this, and Shannon replied, "Honestly, no. But what else would make him do a complete 360? At 2:54 a.m., Shannon told Addie that Watts refuses to hold her and has told Shannon it is because he's not there, he can't. Shannon told Addie. What does he mean he's not there, he can't? Like emotionally, he's not there in his head? I mean, I don't understand why he would say that, but okay. We couldn't get enough of each other before I left. Okay, so at 8:52 a.m., Josh Rosenberg asked Watts if he was excited for the ultrasound. "Today's the day, right?" Watts replied. He just returned to work and added, "Yup, today's the day. I'm excited." Watts confirmed the ultrasound was at 1900 hours. So at 1511 hours, which is 3:11 p.m., Watts made an unspecified modification to Shannon's contact information in his work phone. Oh yeah, I don't know if I said this I can't remember if I said this at the beginning, but it's actually Shannon's, Chris's, and NK's history, okay? So I feel like I forgot to say it was NK's too, but okay. So at 7:25 p.m., and remember this is August 9th, Kessinger searched Google on topics related to marrying your mistress. At 21:54, which is 8:54 p.m., Shannon told Utoft and Cassie Rosenberg, "He said we are not compatible anymore. He refused to hug me. Said he thought another baby would fix his feelings. Said he refused couples counseling." Shannon elaborated, "He said he had a lot of time to reflect his feelings," Shannon added. "He said he's going to work it out. But she doesn't know how when he won't agree to counseling. Her friends offered support and suggestions to work this out." At 21:57, so 8:57 p.m., Josh begged Watts, "Bro, I'm waiting so patiently. LOL, don't leave me hanging." Watts replied, "LOL, envelope is sealed until next week." Josh asked if they were going to hold a reveal, and Watts said yes. At 22:19, which is 9:19 p.m., Shannon told Utoft and Cassie, "I will fight for full custody." Shannon said Watts told her he does not want to divorce right away. At 22:40, which is 9:40 p.m., Shannon told the women, "I can't afford 3 kids alone in Colorado." Shannon said their current home loan is on Chris's name. Her friends rallied around Shannon. At 10:08 p.m., Shannon searched Google on topics like emotion-focused therapy, couples therapy. Okay, so that was August 8th. Yeah, I said August 9th, or on one of these, but no, so that was August 8th. So now this is August 9th. So remember, August 8th is that Wednesday, okay? That Wednesday before everything happens. August 9th is the Thursday. So this is Thursday, right? Shanann told Addie, I canceled gender reveal. Nikki's going to tell me today. I need happy news right now. I said to him, how is this a few months? We were so intimate in what I thought in love when I left. He said he had a lot of time to think. Addie asked if Shanann has gone through Watt's phone, asking if he was having an affair. Shanann replied, I did. He denied. No, I didn't look. He's deleting messages from his dad. I'm sure he's not that stupid. Addie noted, none of this makes sense. It's not Chris. So frequently throughout the day, Shanann searched the internet for couples counselors. She also accepted a prayer chain focused on their relationship. At 6:09 a.m., Shanann asked Watts, do you want to find out together with me tonight on baby's gender? His reply is not found in his phone, but Shanann soon commented on his answer. Loved, yes. So at 9:20 a.m., a log entry appears for the secret calculator in Watts' phone. And we know what the secret calculator was all for. So at 9:20 in the morning, he gets, a log entry appears, who, for his phone. So at 10:06 a.m., Shanann shared an ultrasound image of her unborn son with Sarah Nudd. Okay, so this is the part that when I was looking through it last night, I'm like, what? Okay, so at 11:44 a.m., okay, this image was taken by Watt's phone, which he sent to Shanann. She replied, don't know what to think about this. Okay, that was at 11:44 a.m. on Thursday is when he sent that picture of the doll covered up in that twister mat while he was at work. He was actually at work when he sent that to her. She was still home. She didn't go to Arizona till Thursday night, Friday morning. It would have been like, I think the flight, I'll show you here when we get to it, but the flight was at like 7 in the morning, so she left at like 4. I think Nicole Atkins said she picked her up around 4 or 5 or something really early because the flight was at 7. But that would have been Friday morning, really early Friday morning, okay? This was Thursday at 11:44 a.m. is when he sent that picture of the doll. So that means he was probably on lunch break or something. He was at work. He sends her this picture of the doll, okay? And she's at home with the kids at the time. Does that make any sense? I mean, can you imagine what was going through her head? Like, we all thought that it was when she was in Arizona and she was at home, or he was just with the kids, and he's with the kids, and Bella did this, and he sends her the picture. Oh, look what they did. And she wasn't even in town. But this is saying, if you look at the timestamp, that was at 11:44. Thursday, she was still home. He was at work. Why would he be sending her a picture of that when he's at work? Like, what? I mean, can you imagine what was going through her head? Like, what the heck? Like, I mean, still, even if it was him sending it to her, if Shanann was gone and he was home with the kids, that's still weird. I mean, that is still weird. But it's even weirder that he was at work when he sent that. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? It just does not make any sense to me that I don't know. And then, it made me realize, because I have one of my friends blocked on Facebook. Okay, well, actually, not a friend anymore, but just a really bad person. I had to block her. Remember, Ronnie and Cindy blocked Shanann on Facebook, remember? So, when you're blocked, because I actually have one of my friends blocked on Facebook. She's obviously not my friend. A horrible person. I had to block her. But anyway, when you block somebody on Facebook, you can't even find them. Like, you type in their name and they're non-existent. Nothing comes up, okay? So if Ronnie and Cindy blocked Shanann on Facebook, right? How did Ronnie see that post when Shanann posted it on Facebook? Remember? He said he saw, Shanann posted this picture on Facebook of the doll. So how would Ronnie have seen it if he blocked Shanann? He would not have been able to see what she posted. I'm sorry, you cannot see anything on the person when you block them. So either Chris showed Ronnie the picture, either maybe on the way home from the airport, when he picked him up from the airport on the way to the police station. There's no way he could have seen it with his Facebook account because he had her blocked. So he would not have been able to see that. And Chris deleted his Facebook account. So by the time that day and he picked Ronnie up from the airport, I mean, he wouldn't have had a Facebook account to show him. And this was on the 9th, so it wasn't like he was in North Carolina when she posted it. He could have showed Ronnie, He was already home. Okay, so how could Ronnie have seen this post, okay? And then the day after, Chris deletes his Facebook account. So Ronnie couldn't have seen it from Chris. He couldn't have seen it from his own Facebook account, right? How did he see this post that Shanann posted? Unless, and this is maybe's theory here, and I think she's onto something. Okay, unless if Chris actually took this picture either Chris actually sent this to his dad too. He sent it to his dad, telling his dad, look at this picture Shanann took. Trying to get his dad to even think Shanann is more unstable than they already think. I mean, they already think all these crazy things about her. And, obviously, and that's another thing I want to read. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but obviously when Chris went to North Carolina, there's different things you could see throughout the discovery, and even when Ronnie said it in his interview. And in Mark's interview, you hear Cindy say the same thing, that she knew they were getting separated, that Chris told her that, that Shanann and him were separating, okay? And then you hear Ronnie in his interview saying, yeah, Chris told us when he was in North Carolina. So they all knew they were getting separated. They all knew that when he went to North Carolina, he told them all. He told his family that he was separating, he was separating from Shanann. I mean, whether he said a divorce or however he worded it, but he did tell them that. So Ronnie even said in the interview how Chris is talking about how she's bipolar and unstable and just all this stuff. So maybe it, got me thinking where she was thinking, and it makes perfect sense that when he was there in North Carolina, he was painting this picture of Shanann as being so unstable and so crazy and bipolar, okay? On purpose. This is all the premeditation phase. On purpose, he was doing this, okay? Because he was planning this murder, and he wanted it to look like Shanann did it. He wanted to be able to make it, he wanted to be able to have his parents believe that Shanann is the one that did this, okay? So he takes this picture. He probably sent it to Ronnie, he probably sent it to Ronnie after he took it, showing, like, who knows what he said under the picture or with the text, but probably like, oh my God, look what Shanann sent me, this picture. Look what she sent me. Oh my God, she's going to do something to the kid. She's so unstable. Is this a sign? Like all the things that he was saying, Ronnie was saying in the interview, like, oh, I think she premeditated. I think she was thinking about this, because why would she take a picture like that, So when Ronnie was saying that, he was telling the truth. He really thought Shanann took that picture because Chris probably sent it to him and told him. Because obviously he did not see it on Facebook because he blocked Shanann. He would not have been able to see her post. Chris didn't have a Facebook account anymore. Where would he have seen that? So I think Chris sent Ronnie that picture and said, look what Shanann took. Look at this picture. Look what she did. Trying to paint this picture of Shanann being this crazy woman. So when he carried this act out, that they would believe him that she did it. So, I mean, it really is showing you, like, if this is true, that he was thinking that far back of what he was going to do. It was no rage or snapped or anything, which we all, I think, agree to a degree that he kind of, premeditated to a degree. I feel like a lot of people are kind of coming to that agreement that it wasn't, that he didn't just snap, and it wasn't this rage. It was thought out, and he was very calm, and it just wasn't like he snapped. I don't know. I mean, I know that actually not everybody thinks that, but a lot of people are thinking that, and, now this makes sense to me. So he plans this, he's already planning it when he's in North Carolina. He's trying to make it seem like, Shanann's this crazy woman. And then remember how he said, Ronnie said how Chris told him that he said, well, if I ever find out, you're cheating on me, I'm going to get you back tenfold or whatever. He told him that in North Carolina. So, Chris could have also said to his family in North Carolina, because remember how he said that, they probably knew that there was somebody else. So why would he say that I feel like, because he told him, think of this. He tells them, listen to what Shanann said. And then he tells them, I've fallen in love with this NK. I've fallen in love with this other girl. Oh my God, what is she going to do? She's going to freak out when she finds out, because this is what she said. She's going to get me back tenfold. Oh my God, what is she going to do? She's so unstable and bipolar. And they already are thinking all this crazy things about her. So, it's all planned. It's all premeditated. He's planning this. He's planning this. Very, very creepy. I mean, very evil. Like, okay, for him to... He's planning this, okay? I'm not saying this is not facts or whatever. I'm just trying to give you some of the facts mixed with like a theory, maybe. It's just a theory. Maybe brought it to my attention, and it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. Like I said, it's not facts. It's just kind of a theory that kind of fit in with the facts. Like, this could be a scenario, okay? So... He paints this horrible picture of Shanann to his family, okay? And then, if you think about it, that whole letter makes more sense now. If you think about it like that, think about the letter that he wrote. So he writes that letter. Remember the letter that he writes? Dated 8/6/18, and it says, it's supposedly like a sealed envelope, and he asked his parents not to open it unless something happens to him, okay? And the letter says, if anyone gets this letter, I would never do anything to hurt myself or my children or my wife. If anything happens to me, please investigate my wife. And signed, Chris Watts, okay? Doesn't that make more sense now? That he's making it seem to his parents that she's so crazy and unstable, and oh my gosh, I don't know what she's capable of. Like, what's going to happen? Okay, and then they probably make him write this letter. Well, you better write a letter. What if something happens? What if she does something? Because maybe he says, oh, I'm going to tell her about NK. I'm going to tell her I want to separate. I have to tell her I'm in love with somebody else. And he had just told them that, well, Shanann said, man, if I ever find out you're cheating on me, I'm going to get back at you tenfold. So now they're like, whoa, what if something happens? So they make him write this letter, okay? It makes sense now. It does, because it didn't make sense before to me for some reason. But with this theory, it does. It makes a lot of sense that they would have him write that just in case, because he's painting this picture of her being this crazy woman, and I think he did. I can't, I'm really beginning to think that. So then he stages this picture of this doll sends it to his dad to make Shanann even look crazier, okay? Like, oh my God, look at what Shanann just sent me. What is she gonna do? What is she gonna hurt the kids? And he's the one that freaking did it, you know? And then he sends it to Shanann. He sends it just this sick, like, twisted way of kind of warning her and kind of maybe even getting some kind of reaction out of her, just seeing what she'll do, and just like in his sick way of thinking, get some kind of pleasure out of it, knowing that he sent her that and what his plans are, you know? So I don't know. What do you guys think of that? I think it's some theory, you know? It really is. And also it goes along with this, he sends it to Shanann at 11:44. He's at work. Shanann's home with the kids. And then he sends it to her. That's just sick. I mean, can you imagine? She gets this picture. She's with the kids. He's at work. Like, what, on his lunch break? He's sending her this? Can you imagine what the heck she's thinking? Like, what the heck? Well, I don't know what to think about this. Like, so... And yeah, and the fact that there's no way that Ronnie would have been able to see that post if he blocked them. If he blocked Shanann, there's no way. And Chris didn't have a Facebook account. He canceled it that next day. So how did he see it? I think Chris sent it to him, and yep, just to make it Shanann look even more crazier. So it's almost like, man, like he did plan this. He did premeditate this I mean, he thought more into this than a lot of people think. Well, I shouldn't say he, for sure, like, because this isn't a fact. I know this isn't fact, so I should word it different. But I'm thinking that I always thought there was some premeditation. I didn't think it was that he snapped and it was just this in the moment thing. I never thought that. So, but I wasn't sure how far and how much thought and how much premeditation he was putting into this. Like, if he was planning it like that far with his parents and trying to paint this picture so he could think of a way that they would believe him. And, you know, I don't know. I didn't think it was that in depth, his planning at first. But when she told me this theory, I was just like, whoa, you know, maybe, you know, it does make sense. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Let me know and let her know. And I think it makes sense. It does. But, and not only that, but what do you think about, for one thing, like, how did he see that? If he did, you know, he blocked her on Facebook, and so did Cindy. How did he see that post? And another is what you think that he sent that when he was at work and Shanann was with the kids, because it says August 9th, which if you look that up, that's the Thursday. And if you look, Shanann actually, I have it written down, she left on 8:10 at 7 a.m. It was when her flight was 8:10, 7 a.m. So I think Nicole picked her up. You know, hey, you have to be at the airport, a couple hours before your flight. So it was probably really early, but no, this was the day before. So, okay, so let me continue this here. So at 1:37 p.m., now remember, this is August 9th at 1:37, so this is the day before she went to Arizona. Shanann sent a photograph to Sarah, the image of this letter she wrote to Watts, and there's this letter. I did actually read this on one of my videos, the letter, and some of these texts, actually. So sorry that some of them I did go down, I guess, so far. But when I read it the first time, I didn't catch that picture and like that it was actually Thursday. So let me just see if there's anything else. Okay, so Shanann told Sarah that Watts has agreed to go away next week and just us. Shanann said a friend has agreed to watch the kids. So at 1:44 p.m., Shanann asked Watts, why did you cancel your Facebook account? So there you go. He did not respond. This was actually, I said the next day? No, this must have been the same day. Well, no, it was the same day. I'm saying he did cancel it the same day. So this was August 9th. He canceled his Facebook account. So at least who knows exactly when he canceled it, but she noticed it at 1:44 that he canceled it. So she asked him, why'd you cancel your Facebook account? And Chris did not respond. So at 3:07 p.m., Shanann asked Watts, can you be there Monday to drop Bella off with me to her first day at kindergarten? And Watts replied, I can make that happen. So he was supposed to go Monday with Shanann to take Bella to her first day of school. And he said, yeah, I can make that happen. So that's Thursday. And then the next day, he just volunteers to go Monday to Survey to fix that problem, knowing he said he can make that happen. So why wouldn't he have why would he even have volunteered? It's not like Troy or Chad. It's not like they even asked him, like, oh, can you go there? They were going to do it. But he volunteered to go there, knowing that Shanann asked him to go to Bella's first day of school to drop her off. So right there, that shows a little bit of, premeditation. If you're thinking like, well, he said he would go there. He can't be at two places at once. So it was, he already knew that he wasn't going to have to bother taking Bella to school, so volunteers to go to Survey because he already had this plan anyway. And as far as, I know some people are going to say, well, he didn't find out about Survey until, Friday. So it was after, he went to North Carolina, after the doll picture. But yeah, so he probably didn't have all the details worked out, but he probably knew he was going to try to do something Monday or Sunday night or when they got back. Or maybe he didn't even have, when he was in North Carolina, maybe he didn't even know the date, but he knew that he wanted to do that. He just still had to work out the details, and then when he saw that Survey opportunity, he jumped on it. But, in North Carolina, he probably didn't, he was probably just starting to plan it. He was starting to, get his parents to think something one way and just starting to line it up. So when it happened, it would all, he thought it would all just work out. But so he, at that time in North Carolina, did he know all the exact details? No, but he knew that was something he was trying to line up and trying to plan it, and then Survey, there's that leak, and then, he volunteers. But so, I don't know. He says, that he'll make it happen, and then he goes and volunteers. And not even asked, but volunteers to go to Survey early, by himself. He goes. He would never, how would he have, been able to take her to school? So, okay. At 3:45 p.m., Shanann received a confirmation from Amazon that a book titled Hold Me Tight, 7 Conversations for a Lifetime of Love would be delivered on August 10th. So at 7:37 p.m., Watts told Troy McCoy that he was taking tomorrow off and added, I will meet up with you for the fire stick sometime tomorrow, if that's cool. McCoy said that was fine. Okay, so at 8:17 p.m., Shanann told Addie that she was talking with Watts presently, apparently texting simultaneously. Addie asked what the gender of the child is, and Shanann replied, if I tell you, you can't tell anyone. He, Watts, wants to announce it Monday, August 13th. Shanann added she is trying to be accommodating. He's talking and kind of being Chris, but he's very distant still. At 8:45 p.m., Watts logged into Instagram. At 9:07 p.m., Watts searched Google for prices on an Audi Q7. At 9:12 p.m., Shanann told Utah and Cassie Chris wants to move to Brighton. Shanann announced their son will be named Nico Lee Watts. Shanann cautioned that they were not going to tell anyone the name until Monday and to keep this a secret. Shanann told the women the conversation she had with Watts this evening has been the best talk yet. Okay, 10:27 p.m. Sarah Nutt asked how the conversation with Watts went. Shanann replied, "Oh my God, much better. We talked. He told me he loved me back. Still cold, but not as cold. He even kissed me before going to sleep in the basement, which is his second kiss since picking me up from the airport." Shanann added, "I wanted to tell you the gender, but you have to keep a secret. He wants to wait till I'm back to tell everyone." So Monday, Shanann said. He agreed to counseling, Shanann said. Watts agreed to read the book I ordered coming tomorrow and write me a letter expressing. Shanann said, "We are going away next weekend, just us." Yeah, right. He didn't even open the book. He just threw it right away. Didn't even open the package. Ugh. Okay, so 11 o'clock, Watts transferred images of Kessinger, some semi-nude selfies, into his secret calculator application. Okay, so now, August 10th, Watts took the day off from work and Shanann left for Arizona. 6:20 a.m., missing from Watts' phone, but found in Shanann. But you remember how Chris said, oh, he didn't delete any texts. I don't know why. There are some missing in his phone. Well, there's a lot missing in his phone, actually. Think about the ones that NK. But remember how he said, well, I didn't delete any. But no, he did delete some. Okay, so missing from Watts' phone, but found in Shanann's. She told Watts, "Good morning, honey. Sorry to make you wake up early twice today. I didn't want alarm going off. We are checked in and everything. It's already a madhouse here today. Enjoy the girls. Don't forget King Supers. 10:11. I told Bella I was leaving for work with Nikki and assured her that I was always coming home. They usually don't eat right away lately. Give them lots of kisses for me. Thank you for everything last night. I miss and love you so much. I'm still in shock we are having a little boy. I'm so excited and happy, and I really thought it was another girl. Thank you for letting me hold you this morning. It felt good. Your letter is on the counter. Have a great time with kiddos. They truly missed you. Love you, baby. Send me pics." 6:43 a.m., Shanann told Watts, "I don't know why I feel really weak standing. I'm drinking a Gatorade and had a biscuit. Getting ready to take off. What time kids wake up?" Watts speculated her weakness was from lack of sleep. Watts told her that Bella just woke up and Celeste was still asleep. Okay, 7 a.m., Shanann received a calendar alert regarding her flight from Denver to Phoenix. Okay, 7:51 a.m., Jeremy Lindstrom, apparently knowing the Watts were having a boy, congratulated Watts. Little man is lucky boy. Watts thanked Jeremy and asked what time the birthday party was on Sunday. Jeremy said 1 p.m. 8:03 a.m., not found in Watts' phone. Shanann and Watts exchanged happy anniversary messages. So he erases that. He erases those messages where they exchanged happy anniversary because probably he was scared if NK saw it because, he's telling her they're separating. So he doesn't want her to see happy anniversary. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. Okay, 8:44 a.m., Shanann told Watts she just landed in Arizona. 9:24 a.m., Watts asked Jeremy, "Do you think McKenna is available to watch the girls for a few hours tomorrow night? I won a raffle at work for a Rockies game. It's with the people I don't know from work. But I haven't been to a game in a while where the kids aren't involved and only last an inning. LOL." Wow. Lie. Didn't even go to the Rockies game. Makes this elaborate story. Wow. So this is Friday. Yeah. So he's already planning his night with NK on Saturday. Jeremy replied, "Of course," and asked which house. Watts replied, "I would say my house because the girls would fall asleep easier, and all it would be watching the monitor." When asked what time, Watts said 5:30 p.m. Game starts at 6:15. Okay, 11:57 a.m. Shanann sent Watts a web address for a realtor, Home Snap. 3 minutes later, Watts visited the website. 1:34 p.m. Watts asked McCoy what time he wanted to meet for that fire stick. By 3:05, Watts told McCoy he had arrived at their meeting location. At 1:42 p.m., Shanann received confirmation from Amazon that the book she ordered was delivered. Minutes later, she suggested Watts check the mail. And it says, for her part, Shanann was upbeat, optimistic this day for the first time in weeks. This is evidenced in her conversations with other via messages. In the weeks preceding, Shanann was heartbroken, confused, emotionally distraught. I did read a lot of this already as I was reading it, I realized, oh shoot, I already did a video reading this. But I did want to point out the part about the picture because I didn't catch it the first time that it was sent on Thursday. So he would have been at work, she would have been there with the kids. So I think there's some parts where maybe I didn't read that I could read. I'm going to skip down because I did read all this. Because it would be kind of silly for me to read the same things I already did a video on, right? So, and I didn't even realize it until I started reading it. I'm like, just now, as I'm reading it, I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, I did. I thought I stopped before these days, but no, I did read. I didn't read all of them, though. That's why I'm going to go down to the part where maybe I stopped. Because I know at the end, I think it was the last couple days I didn't read. So, there's just I wanted to skip down to the morning of when it all went down. So, the morning of the 13th. Okay, I'm going to go through, well, after he leaves. So, he leaves his driveway at 5:48. Okay, now remember, if you remember my GPS video or you look at the GPS, you'll see that he gets to Survey 319 at 6:53. At least that's when it shows, at least when he shuts his car off. Remember by the oil wellhead? He parks his car there. He doesn't move it until he ends up going to 1029. But anyway, so he gets... At least the GPS shows him getting there at 6:53 a.m., okay? Now, do you remember when Troy said in his interview that they couldn't make a call? They couldn't make calls when they were driving. They'd have to pull over. So I'm not sure if it means that they can't actually physically make the call, like they're not able to actually make the call, or they're just not supposed to make calls when they're driving. I'm not sure if it's somehow set up where it won't let them when they're driving on their work phone. But I mean, I guess he has a personal phone too, but this is actually, let me see. But at 6:30 a.m., it says Watts made 3 unanswered calls to Roberts. But according to the GPS, at 6:30, he was still on the road on his way to Survey. So, I mean, did he pull over to make those calls? Or, I mean, was he able to make them? He just, you're not supposed to, but he just did it anyway. I don't know. But also, like at 6:31, Watts sent a message asking Roberts, where are you at? And at 6:32, Roberts replied, just got fuel in Kersey. And then at 6:32 a.m., Watts made an unanswered call to Roberts. So that's 4 unanswered calls. He made 3, and then he texted him, then made another one. That's 4 unanswered calls to Roberts, okay? 6:33 a.m., Watts responded with 2 messages to Roberts. Okay, I'm in Survey. Where are you going first? So 6:33, he was in Survey. So the only thing I could think of, and I was trying to figure this out, because it doesn't show him getting to Survey 319 until 6:53. So 6:33, he's saying, I'm in Survey. I guess he was probably just at maybe the front gate of Survey, because wasn't there a gate you have to get out and like unlock it, and then it's still like 10 miles back. So he probably maybe called when he was at the gate. Hey, I'm in Survey. Then he texted. That's the only thing I could come up with, okay? Because the GPS showed him not arriving to the Survey 319 until 6:53. So anyway, so at 6:33 a.m., Roberts answered DPC state, and Watts replied with a thumbs up emoji. 6:35 a.m., Roberts advised, I need to call Chad and see if he plans on stroking the 1029 out there to see if it'll pump up. So I'll have to meet him, or he will have to get the cannon plugs from Tony, okay? At 6:35, Watts responded, okay, let me know before I leave here. At 6:38, Roberts added, I think Chad might be heading out there today. Phone was breaking up pretty bad. 6:39, there's a note saying, likely fearing another employee may show up at 319 while he was disposing of the bodies, Watts made an unanswered call to Chad McNeil. 6:41, Watts followed the call with a message asking McNeil, you headed out to Survey? I'm out here. Cody said something about pumping up to 1029. But do you see how this whole time he's making calls and he's just... So he must have been at the front gate. So, well, I guess he's on those dirt roads probably, I'm guessing, as he's going to Survey 319. And he's making calls. So obviously, you can. It just must be you're not supposed to. I don't know. But so he's making calls. He's texting. 6:43 a.m. McNeil replied, well, since you're out there, would you want to fire it up? Have Cody bring his cables. At 6:44 a.m., Watts agreed, okay, I will. McNeil advised, I'll head that way in a bit. At 6:59 a.m., Roberts told Watts. So now, 6:59, he's at Survey 319 by then, okay? Roberts told Watts, I guess I'm headed out that way to start up the 1029, and Chad will be meeting out there. Watts replied, okay. So now, can you imagine? He's just starting to do what he does, and Roberts just tells him, okay, I'm heading out that way. So now, I mean, Chris is probably, he knows he's got to get this all done before they get there. 7:18, Watts took a photograph of his laptop screen, presumably sitting in his truck. So that was he took it from, actually, that was his personal cell phone that he took that from. So this is already, so he's been there for, let's see, he's been there for 25 minutes now at Survey 319. Well, according to the GPS, he's been there for 25 minutes. So who knows, what, I mean, basically he had to be in the middle of everything that he was doing, and he goes into his truck and he takes a picture of his laptop screen. Unfortunately, they can't tell what it was, so I don't know what he was taking a picture of. So then at 7:40 a.m., Watts sent a staged message to Shannon, if you take the kids somewhere, please let me know where they're at. I mean, can you imagine? Think about that. He probably, I mean, I hate to say this, but I mean, he probably just got done burying her when he stages that call to her, or when he was in the middle of doing it. Oh, man. I'm thinking maybe it was when he just got done at 7:40 a.m. He stages the call. He stages a text to Shannon's phone. If you take the kids somewhere, please let me know where they're at. I mean, after he just got done doing all that. Oh, it's so sick. It just makes me. So anyway, so then at 7:40 a.m., Watts made a 2.5 minute call to Troy McCoy. And then 7:41, Roberts told Watts, I'm here at the 1029. You mind coming out here just in case something gets sideways. 7:43, Watts told Roberts, yeah, I'm at 319, 1 second. Watts then took this picture. So yeah, he was probably done with everything, but when he did that text, and then he takes the picture, he says 1 sec, he'll be there. So, and then Watts called Luke Epple at 7:43 and held a 1 minute 45 second conversation. 7:43, Roberts asked Watts, 10-4, how's it look? Watts replied, fresh, LOL. And then 7:47, McNeil called Watts and held a 2 minute conversation. So still at 7:47, McNeil still obviously wasn't at Survey 319. Troy obviously wasn't there yet because he had called him too. So trying to figure out when they all got there. So 7:51, Roberts asked, is it a lot? Watts responded by sending the image he took minutes earlier. So, Roberts is actually at 1029. But it doesn't look like anybody's at Survey 319 yet. So at 7:55 a.m., Roberts asked, want me to bring some gator? We can try and pressure test the line too if you want. Watts replied, I got it handled, thanks so. So then at 8:25 a.m., Watts made a staged 23-second call to Shannon's phone. 8:26 a.m., Watts searched the internet for Primrose School of Erie at Vista Ridge. Seconds later, he called the school and held a 1 minute conversation. During this call, Watts told staff his daughters would not be attending school there any longer. Okay, so, and then seconds later, Watts called Ann Meadows and held a 3 minute 40-second conversation. That's the realtor. So, and then, of course, 10:10, that's when he searches the battery lyrics. Metallica. Okay, so then at 10:28 a.m., Sandy, Shanann's mother, asked Watts, "Is Shanann okay?" Watts made an unanswered call to Rusek. She called him back and held a 1-minute conversation. At 10:41 or 10:33 to 10:41, Watts searched the internet for hotels in Aspen, and that's him and Shanann were supposed to go to Aspen that next weekend. And then he actually even called at 10:42 a.m. He called the Westin Snowmass Resort and held a nearly 2-minute conversation. And then at 10:44 a.m., Sandy called Watts briefly. 10:45 p.m., Watts searched the internet for Groupon to include the company's contact information. 12:16, Josh Rosenberg asked Watts, "Hey bro, Cassie asked me if I've heard from Shanann today. I guess her and Nikki can't get a hold of her. Have you heard from her today?" And then at 12:16, Watts took 2 photographs of sunflowers in an open prairie. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to point out. This is on the Discovery page 1783. Okay, so it's NK's phone, like her searches, her Google searches or whatever. So it says several searches for Christopher Watts can be found prior to 8/12/18. Okay, these entries appear to have been deleted. I searched for the numbers, and it gives the phone numbers, and found no results. I did locate name searches for Chris Watts dated back to 8/3/17 and Shanann Watts dating back to 1/7/18. These entries were deleted but recoverable. So my question is, you know how there was an article that came out that that they said like it was a typo, and everybody's talking about how it's just a typo, but how could this whole thing right here, this whole document be a typo? I don't think it was a typo, because if you read it, I mean, how can this whole thing be a typo where it says this whole paragraph and then it shows the graph? It says 8/3/2017 at 11:02 she searched Chris Watts, and then 1/7/2018 at 5:52 a.m. Okay, so man, this must have been before she went to work. 5:52 a.m. she's searching Shanann Watts. So January 7th, 2018, she searches Shanann Watts. Probably before she heads to work, 5:52 a.m. Now, how can all of this be a typo? I mean, I could see one little date and they just screwed up like one of the numbers, but all of these numbers and all of this information is all a typo then? Like, no. I mean, I'm not buying it, because I mean, what do you guys think? Look, it's on page, what did I say? Sorry. 1783. You could see it for yourself. Oh, great. Now it just went out. Okay. Yeah, 1783. You could see it yourself. It's right there. And I don't see how all of this could be a typo. They give the time, the date, down to the second, down to the second and the minute. Okay, guys, I'm back. Different day, different clothes. There's a couple things that I forgot to mention in this video. So, I just wanted to clear it up, the typo that I think, what the typo was, okay? So, I went and checked out that article. So, the article says that it's the search that says that NK looked up Shanann Watts on September 1st, 2017. That's supposedly where the typo is. But if you look at True Crime Rocket, he says that he actually talked to Rourke and he said that it actually wasn't a typo. So I'm not sure if it's a typo or not, but the search they're referring to is that search on, and it's in here a couple times in the Discovery, you could find it, where it says NK search Shanann Watts September 1st, 2017. Okay? There's nothing about no typo about the dates I was telling you about, that she searched Chris Watts' name on August 3rd, 2017, which is a whole year before everything. So this is 9 months before she even met Chris, that she looked up his name, that she Googled his name. I mean, isn't that kind of weird? Well, I'm not sure when she actually met him, but I guess when she started talking to him, because I don't know when she even started working there. I still have to figure that out, and when she may have ran into him and seen him. Maybe she did see him at work. Well, obviously, I don't know when she started. So if anybody knows, I can't find it anywhere in the Discovery. Like, when did she start working at Anadarko? I'm not sure. But, so, she was probably working there at the time and knew of him, but 9 months before she even talked to him, she Googles him. And then in January 7th, she Googles Shannon Watts. So this is still 4 months before she even talks to Chris. And who knows about that September 1st, if was that a typo or wasn't that? I'm not sure. So possibly she Googled Shannon on September 1st, but I don't know about that one. That one might be a typo. But these ones, these ones aren't. So why is she Googling them? And then she waits that long to actually start talking to them. Or start talking to him, I should say. So it makes you wonder. I mean, I'm not saying this means anything. It's just kind of odd. It's just kind of weird. I'm not saying this makes her involved or anything, but it does kind of make her a little stalkerish, or maybe just a huge crush, but it kind of makes it even her look worse because, her knowing that she's married way back then and kind of maybe interested in him, has her eye on him that whole time, and it's like, was she purposely trying to get him to notice her or something, and maybe it takes 9 months for, maybe she was doing, how girls possibly could be doing certain things to get him to notice her, and then maybe to finally give in and say something to her. Who knows? I mean, some girls just know how to do that. They know how to get a guy to do that, I guess. And she seems like she's one of those girls, maybe. So, was she working on him that whole time? Which shows you that she knew, he was married the whole time. She Googles his wife the whole time. So was she just waiting for him to have this weak moment and talk to her, teasing him and probably, I don't know. I don't want to assume anything, but the facts are she did look them up. She did. And it's weird. A whole 9 months before, she looks up Chris. Possibly a whole 10 months before, or a whole 8 months before she looks up Shannon. But I'm not sure about that one. But at least 4 months before she starts talking to Chris, she looks up Shannon. So you're telling me she never looked Shannon's Facebook up to know, for instance, when she was trying to figure out those condoms, I don't know what kind of, trying to be some kind of spy, like, okay, they were expired at this date, so that means, he has a half a box, so he got them, and trying to figure out if they were still having sex or whatever. Wouldn't the easiest thing be is just to go on her Facebook and she'll be able to tell right there that they're still together? Like, that would be an easy way to tell instead of try to do all these condom calculations, like, just look on the Facebook. You'll see, okay, wait, so she's pregnant. She was pregnant, Edward got pregnant in May, so they're still having sex in May. And then you can kind of see that they're still together by, her Facebook. So, I don't know. It just seems odd. But I just wanted to clear that up because I wasn't sure when I started this video yesterday, the article, I was almost sure that it was the September date, but I just wanted to read it and come back and let you know for sure what it said. So it was talking about the typo being from the September 1st Google search of Shannon, which, maybe it was a typo and it was actually the date was wrong. So it was supposed to be, for Shannon Watts, it was supposed to be January 7th. So the date was wrong for it, maybe that was it. That's January 7th, 2018. Or the name was wrong in the date, and it was supposed to be Chris Watts, August 3rd, 2017. I'm not sure. But either way, if that's true or not, these two dates are true. So it is kind of weird. Okay, so I did want to read some of the other searches. I know we've all heard them probably a million times, but this is a very detailed graph of her searches. So I'll just go, since I have it, I'll just read it to you guys, because some of you guys might not have heard it at all. So this is what I don't understand what this is. Okay, this is under her phone. It says 3:40 p.m. on 8/14. And, you know, in the part where it usually shows like what she searched, like what she Google searched, it says, please share and pray that beautiful Shanann Watts and her 2 precious daughters are found safe. They are from the Erie and Frederick, Colorado area. Shanann Watts and her 2 daughters, Bella and Celeste, are missing. She made it home to Colorado from Scottsdale at 2 a.m. Her husband left for work at 5 a.m., but Shanann never made it to the school for the girls' first day back. Her car and phone were found at home, but these 3 have not been found. Shanann is 15 weeks pregnant. Thank you and God bless. So I don't know, did she just found a post, or is it saying that she wrote that? I'm not sure, but it's just under the section of, well, it's web history, and then it's under the section where it shows like what her Google search was. So I'm not really sure what that means, if anybody has any input on that. Okay, so 8:14 at 5 p.m. she Googles, can cops trace text messages? At 8:14, 5:24, she Googles, how long do phone companies keep text messages? And then at 8:14 at 5:25 p.m., she Googles difference between text message content and text message detail. And then a minute later, she Googles the same thing, difference between text message content and text message detail. And then at 5:26, she Googles, well, no, she's in a Verizon community and asks, can you get printouts of text messages? And then it shows, you know, where she searched Chris Watts on 8/3/2017 and Shanann Watts on 1/7/2018. So I just find that kind of interesting, because I don't know, I must have just overlooked this graph and this little paragraph before. Okay, guys, well, you guys all have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.